Hi, it's Pastor Paul Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. It is Terrific Tuesday. We thank God how He has blessed us thus far and propelling us into the week. I want to ask you to look with me into this very powerful passage that comes to us out of the Acts of the Holy Spirit through and by the apostles, the second chapter, verses 14 through 24. Now, this comes after that powerful day of Pentecost. And so now we find here this powerful message. It talks about Peter, who is now standing up in front of everybody. And he says, listen carefully. I want you to know that this is a fulfillment of prophecy. As the prophet Joel said, in the latter days, I'll pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Now, as he stands up to say this, these people are filled with the power of the Spirit. And some of them saying, oh, they're drunk. But Peter says, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Nobody gets drunk at 9 o'clock in the morning in their day. Maybe some people do in our day, but in their day, they didn't. You know how it is. And he says that, no, these are not drunk as you suppose. And the reason he was saying that is because these people were doing something that was just definitely out of the norm. They found themselves that they were now prophesying. They were speaking powerful words from God. And God was using them to utter it in a different language, or the people heard it in a different tongue, not the one that they were trained in. It was so powerful. So the text lets us see, he says, this is the fulfillment of the prophecy that came forth in Joel. In the last days, I'll pour out my spirit upon all people and upon all flesh. And the good part that I love about this, he says that in the latter days, I'm going to pour out my spirit upon all flesh, male and female, young and not so young. And he says all flesh. We live in a world today that so many people try to say only certain people can have the moving and the filling of God's spirit. But the prophet Joel said, in the latter days, I'll pour out my spirit upon all flesh, your sons and your daughters. And it lets us know that God is not a respecter of persons, and neither should you nor I be. We need to remind ourselves that God chooses to use any and every available vessel that He might allow them to speak forth His glory and His praise. You know, I would ask you today, are you one of those that you said in the latter days, God is going to pour out of His Spirit? If not, all you have to do is just be open, allow God to pour His Spirit, to pour His word in you. And then we can go forth in the power of the Spirit and do all those things He asks us to do, especially in the midst of COVID-19. Some people have said we're approaching the latter days. I don't know how close we are, but I'm sure we're closer than we've ever been before. So that gives all of us enough on the inside to say, God, I want to be chosen and I want to be used by you for your glory. Today, I hope you can make yourself available. May God bless you, heaven smile upon you, and I'll see you on tomorrow.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.